Coming up on Murrow News 8, a collision on the Aurora Bridge in Seattle. 4 dead and over 40 injured.
Plus, the Pope talks about his first time in Congress.
And Murrow News reporter Scott Brewster donates some plasma. All that and more on Murrow News 8.
From Studio B on the campus of Washington State University, this is Pullman's only nightly newscast. This is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Kevin Fisher.
And I'm Wenjun Cui. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Police are investigating a deadly accident that occurred earlier today in Seattle, where a charter bus collided with a duck tour vehicle on the Aurora Bridge. 4 people were confirmed dead and over 40 were injured. Murrow News 8 reporter Colby Crosley has more on the story.
Police say it was a head-on collision between a charter bus and an amphibious duck tour vehicle, which killed 4 and injured more than 40. The crash happened around 11:15 a.m. local time on the Aurora Avenue Bridge in Seattle. According to Susan Gregg, spokeswoman for Harborview Medical Center, there are a total of 47 patients with 8 people in critical condition, 8 serious, and 1 satisfactory. Seattle Mayor Ed Murray had this to say.
We understand that one of the buses involved had foreign students involved. We are contacting their consulates and trying to confirm the situation, but it is too early to provide you any more details on those injured or those deceased than that.
The charter bus involved in the accident was carrying 45 students and employees from North Seattle College's international program. The students who were not injured in the accident were brought back to campus, where the college had food and crisis counselors on hand. Reporting for Murrow News 8, I'm Colby Crosley.
A bomb threat evacuated one of Spokane's biggest high schools. Lewis and Clark High School received the call with the threat at 12:30 p.m. Students were sent to a local park several blocks away on 7th and Stevens, while parents were told to not pick up their kids. Students were told at 1:45 that it was safe to return to school.
The French administration and Lighty building on campus had an evacuation earlier this afternoon. The cause of the evacuation was alleged from a broken water pressure valve from an electrical surge. WSU interim president Dan Bernardo led the ceremonial groundbreaking for the new WSU's Everett University Center on Tuesday. The 4-story, 95,000 square foot building will be home to at least a dozen classrooms, 10 laboratories, as well as office, a public area, and a cafe. The building is expected to cost over $54 million and is scheduled to open 2017.
Police continue to investigate a smash-and-grab robbery that took place in Spokane early this morning. The suspect crashed a stolen car into the front window of the American Coin and Vault on Wall Street. The owners of the store said several items were stolen. The suspect fled after being in the store for about 30 seconds. U.S. Figure Skating announced that Spokane will host the inaugural Team Challenge Cup in April. The 3-day event will feature 43 of the top figure skaters from Europe, Asia, and North America.
For the first time in history, the Pope addressed members of Congress today. Pope Francis urged lawmakers to come together and help the immigrants and the poor. He also touched on many issues and offered his advice on topics such as immigration and climate change. The Pope then left Washington, D.C. to continue his U.S. visit in New York. We have all done it before. You start feel under the weather and immediately reach the computer, but that not be such a great idea. In today's health news, Amanda Beltran tells us the tactic may not help you and can actually hurt you.
As we're headed into fall, sickness is headed our way too. Colds and coughs, flus and sore throats, but who has time to visit the doctor? Nowadays, with so much information online, it's hard not to Google your symptoms and self-diagnose. But doctors warn it may not be such a safe idea.
I went on a symptom checker and put in dizziness, and at least 10 or 15 diagnoses came up, and many of these diagnoses were somewhere as simple as an earache to as severe as a heart attack.
In a study conducted by Harvard University, when patients Googled their symptoms, almost 70% of the time the first diagnosis was wrong. However, in emergency situations, Online symptom checkers correctly advised immediate medical care in over 80% of the cases.
And I think if someone self-diagnoses themselves, they may stay home, and by the time they really decide to come to the hospital, it may be too late and they may suffer some undire consequences.
For Murrow News, I'm Amanda Beltran.
Coming up after the break, autumn just arrived, but meteorologists are already looking ahead to winter.
We will have that story plus our more immediate forecast right after the break.
When you're out there, there's no telling what you'll find.
I see it! I see it! Oh, look at you.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
The great outside.
My new mom and I have a lot in common.
So shiny.
We both love the outdoors.
That's not a flower.
And she knows a lot about wildlife.
A labradoodle.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play or even what you wear. You just need to be there. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
The Washington State Department of Ecology is expecting a warm and mild winter, potentially causing a water shortage to carry over to next year. The department says with a normal amount of snowfall this year, the river and watersheds will now be able to replenish in the spring. Melting snow from the mountains would typically supply the state with water for the year.
Many people on Earth can witness the combination of a lunar eclipse with a rare supermoon this Sunday night and early Monday morning. The full moon will appear larger because it's at perigee, which is the closest point of its orbit with Earth. The entire eclipse will be visible from most of the Americas. The celestial showcase has not happened since 1982. Man, that is so cool. I will definitely be watching for that supermoon on Sunday.
Yeah, me too. Hannah, will we have a clear sky for the supermoon?
Well, Wen, it looks like we should have some pretty clear skies Sunday night, so we should get a good look at that supermoon. But first, let's talk about today's weather. The temperature peaked at 81 degrees, and now it's cooled off to about 68. Going into tomorrow, it'll be a little bit cooler, but still sunny and pleasant outside. Going into the state map, we can see that the west side had temperatures in the mid-70s. It was mostly sunny in Vancouver and Seattle with some partial clouds during the day. And then moving east to Yakima and Wenatchee, temperatures were similar, still mostly sunny with occasional clouds here and there. Going into the 5-day forecast, we can expect more sun and 70-degree days. And WSU meteorologists say forecasting models point to a dry and fairly warm autumn. However, on Tuesday, we can expect some light showers. And then on Wednesday, it'll get down to the high 60s. That's all the weather for tonight. Stay tuned. After the break, Jeremy tells us all about Cano's career milestone.
You got a king?
Go fish!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Welcome back to Murrow News 8. I'm Jeremy Sirigar with your sports for the night. The Seattle Sounders are making some noise in the Emerald City. Seattle defeated the visiting Vancouver Whitecaps 3-0 last night at CenturyLink Field. Sounders midfielder Lamar Nagel scored 2 goals and forward Nelson Valdez scored the other. Now with the win over Vancouver, Seattle earns a spot in the CONCACAF Champions League quarterfinals. Assistant coach Mac Breed resigned from John Jay High School according to his attorney. Breed was accused of instructing 2 of his players to tackle a referee during a game at September 4th. Now, Breed did admit that he had instructed the players and also claimed that the referee was using racial language and making bad calls. The 2 student athletes are eligible to return to school in spring. And that's all your sports for tonight. When we come back after the break, Scott Brewster finds out how donating plasma can help save lives.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Chinese President Xi Jinping received a warm welcome from students at Lincoln High School today. Xi surprised the students when he invited 100 of them to go to China next year. President Xi's next stop is Washington, D.C.
Everyone enjoys having extra money to go out with friends. Murrow News 8 reporter Scott Brewster found a way for students to do that while helping others.
One way for students here at WSU to make some extra money is to donate plasma. GCAM Plasma opened its doors in May and has seen positive support from the community.
Right now we're averaging between 16 and 20 a day.
Many of the staff of GCAM used to work at the other plasma center that was here before they went out of business because the company lost their overseas buyer.
I used to work here at Biomedics, used to be here about 7 years ago, and came back once they opened. I just really enjoyed the job. It's just kind of fun interacting with people, and it's just an interesting job dealing with plasma.
Donors at the Plasma Center make a worldwide impact based on where the plasma goes to.
Be shipped to, actually this will go to a fractionation plant in South Korea. And once it's there, it's fractionated, and then it's used to make injectable drugs, vaccines. It's used primarily for human use.
You can be just like me and come donate here from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. For Murrow News 8, I'm Scott Brewster.
A Texas retiree gave rescue dogs the trip of lifetime in a special-made train. Eugene Bostic and his brother welded together plastic barrels with holes cut in the wood at least once at the wake. The 80-year-old Fort Worth said the dog come running when they hear him hook up the tractor.
That is all the news we have for you today.
Join us every weeknight at 7 and 10 o'clock and follow us on Facebook and Twitter.